We're back. Back to the same old Bachelor set with same old candles that haven't burnt out yet. Apparently they symbolize Hannah because we can't get rid of her either. Can't believe it's already Bachelor season. I wish I did it before the season started video so I could make all my predictions and choose a winner. I mean, I guess I'll still pick one, but it's just not the same. Okay, now before I get started, I just want to say, did anyone see Jason Mesnick's season of The Bachelor? It was on Netflix. I rewatched the whole thing. Of course I did. And realized that that era was classic Bachelor. Before it all got too artificial and every contestant knew coming out of the show that they'd have some sponsorship deals. And the contestants were normal people. Actually, I think when we found out that Melissa was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, it was like shocking. It was almost like she was famous on this show where famous people don't come. And now here we are with models and pageant queens and professional athletes. Okay, now let's get into it. So the show starts with a preview of Peter's finale, and it's extra dramatic like it always is. And I'm just thinking that there's no way it's actually that bad. Whatever's going on, Peter doesn't even look like he's devastated. Maybe the girl that he sends home gets like food poisoning or something. I don't know. That's stupid. So we do our typical contestant introductions at their hometowns. And we have surprise, a model, and surprise, a pageant queen, Marissa, which when she was showing herself in that dress that she wore when she was overweight, I thought it was really cute. It was like a nice oversized dress. I would wear that. Then we get a girl who's waxing some other girl's kuka. It's always got to be something. And then we meet Madison for the first time. Never would have suspected that she was a basketball player, but she has a very nice shot. I had a really good initial impression of her, but I just wanted to fix her part. Like just flip some hair over quick. It felt like the part that you have when you first wake up, and then you brush the ends of your hair, and then that's it. She has beautiful hair. I just need to fix the part. Then we get to limo time. This was the most uncomfortable meet and greet that I've ever experienced on The Bachelor. But before I get into that, I want to just make note that I'm very impressed by Peter. And I apologize if at any point during this I call him Ben. It's been really hard not to call him Ben. I don't know. Ben Higgins, I think. But he just seems very genuine and like ready to go. But he's very clearly an attractive guy, but has no conceited bone in his body. He just seems very down to earth and a little bit quirky. But the first thing that I noticed before any women come out of the limo, Chris is there talking to Peter. See? Chris is talking to Peter, and he has this big line on his neck. It very well could have been just like a wrinkle, but it looked like a scar. Or maybe he had fallen asleep on his collar. It's very distracting. Did anybody else see it? So first limo comes up, everybody yells Peter's name. It's got to happen every season. Lucky for us, it happened in the first 25 minutes. There were a lot of women, it felt like, and there were a couple love childs in there. One of them, Lauren, she is the love child of Jada Pinkett Smith and Zoe Saldana. Tell me you don't agree. And then Victoria F., the dry sense of humor girl. This one I couldn't figure out. She's definitely a love child of Shay Mitchell and someone else. But the whole episode, I was trying to figure out who this someone else is, and I just can't do it. Tell me who you guys think she looks like, because it's driving me insane. And it's probably somebody I know personally, and I'm going to waste all of your time, but it's someone. We also have 3 flight attendants. Kind of feel like ABC could have done a better job there. It's a little expected. And then there were 4 girls who felt it was necessary to bring up some windmill comment when they met Peter. Over that. But now, let's talk about Eunice. Eunice is the one that came in with the wings. She said that her concern was that Peter wasn't going to remember her name. Number 1, your name is Eunice. Okay. Number 2, if Peter has even seen 10 or 15 minutes of She's the Man, there's no way he'll forget your name. I'm not sure I've ever heard the name Eunice before She's the Man, but I'll never be able to not picture the Eunice of She's the Man whenever I hear that name. Madison comes in on a paper airplane. Her entrance was a little uncomfortable. Felt like she was uncomfortable. But her job is really cool. Foster parent recruiter. I like that. That's something new and honorable. Frank, be quiet. Here's the thing though, I have to be honest. I didn't enjoy meeting the women, mostly because I knew that Hannah was coming eventually. So I felt like we just needed to get through these girls so that Hannah can show up. It's really sad. But we have just a couple other slightly noteworthy people. Courtney, who comes and says she needs to do something really cool to impress Peter. So her decision is to come out on an airplane tricycle. The suitcase girl, I forget her name, but I'm still boggled by that. I feel like I put one pair of heels in my suitcase and I have no room left. And she had some on her feet. Lexi, the girl who drove up in the red car, she reminds me of Dakota Johnson. A lot of celebrity lookalikes here. We've also got women who think that a cow is a pony, and a girl who kisses him and immediately tells him she's trying to be bold. You can't say that if you're trying to be bold. It's like people who tell you that they're humble. That automatically makes you not humble. Just my opinion. Then finally, Hannah comes out of the limo, and it's just to give him the wings that he gave her during her season, which I thought was really nice and very cute. But she says,
I have mixed feelings about you being the Bachelor.
oh, that's supportive. Way to go. She shows up in this red dress, very exposed. What's the agenda here, Hannah? But they're talking, and Peter's hugging her, and I feel like you can just tell he does not want her to leave. We find out later that he actually didn't want her to leave, but it was just so, you could see it right there. And then when he came in to talk to the girls, he mentioned that Hannah was there, and it sounded like he was going to cry. I don't know if he's ready for this, but we just know, I mean, we've got the previews, but Hannah saying she has mixed feelings, we just know it's not the end of Hannah. Okay, so he's giving his speech, and I'm looking out into this crowd of women, and there are a lot of boobs. They were very exposed that night. I don't know if we're transitioning away from booty days back to the days of the boob. I don't know. And the first impression rose comes out, and just like always, everybody freaks out. But here's a tip, everyone, okay? When the rose comes out, anyone who says it's on or something similar never gets it. I don't remember who it was this time. I think there were a couple. It just doesn't happen. Sorry, there were just a lot of cliches coming out in last night's episode. Some of these girls were really getting on my nerves. It was a little bit like a high school cafeteria at the Mean Girls table. Now, we've got girls freaking out because they're not going to get any time with Peter. And meanwhile, we've got a handful of girls coming out with giant paper airplanes and mini putt-putt course. How does that even come about? Do they have applications where they're like, please set me up with a windmill and scatter 84 roses for the number of days that I've seen Peter from the TV, and also toss a couple potatoes because I'm from Idaho? I don't know. So Peter's first kiss is with Hannah, the model girl. Pretty sure that was his first kiss. And her name is Hannah. Shocker. I'm sure that had nothing to do with why she got cast. I thought it was a little bit surprising, but then he goes on to kiss almost everyone else. So, in Hannah, we're not sure yet, but she could be a slight villain on the season. First of all, she uses the classic line, I'm not here to make friends, but disguises it with, I'm not here to drink wine on the couch. We know what you mean, Hannah. And she interrupts Sheann's time. And Sheann confronts her about it, and it is so uncomfortable. They're just kind of staring at each other, and I think Sheann was waiting for an apology or something from Hannah, and Hannah was just kind of sitting there like, yeah, I think you really should talk to him. So we got Hannah going like this, and then Sheann going, don't think that was resolved, but Hannah gets the rose. Usually I have someone by the end of the first night that I really like, or a few people, and I didn't get that. Maybe there was a little less time spent on this portion, but there was just nobody that stood out to me. Victoria F made me laugh, but not in a John Paul Jones way. Oh, Kelly. Duh. Okay. Kelly. This is a girl that Peter met previously at a hotel. Now, don't take this too literally. It's not like a perfect match, but she reminds me, another celebrity lookalike, of Jennifer Coolidge, who is the stepmom in A Cinderella Story and is the girl that Reese Witherspoon teaches the bend and snap in Legally Blonde. Now you know who I'm talking about. It's not a perfect resemblance, but there's something there. Maybe the smile? I don't know. Maybe you'll see what I see next time. So rose ceremony comes. He sends some people home. I don't really remember who, no offense. But Chris comes out and says, ladies, I'm sorry. Take a moment. Say your goodbyes. Who are they saying bye to? Your acquaintances? Also, definitely doesn't seem like Peter has a type. I know he says he's into Southern girls, but if you look at all the women that he chose, there's a lot of variety in there. Looks and personality. Okay, and then we get to the first date, which is a group date, as always. Now, during this math lesson at flight school, Hannah and Peter are sitting next to each other. And I don't know if Peter chose to sit next to Hannah or Hannah chose to sit next to Peter. I don't know. I don't think I'm a big fan. I can't tell if she's got a lot of confidence or if she's overconfident or if she's thrown up some red flags. That's my initial gut feeling. And my gut feeling usually isn't wrong. I don't think she's wife material for Ben. Peter. Oh my God. Peter. Ugh. And then they do that spinny thing. I get nauseous just thinking about it. I would be in the same exact boat as Victoria P in this one. If you didn't already know this about me, my biggest fear is throwing up. And Victoria P willingly went into that thing knowing she was going to throw up. No thanks. But I give her a lot of props. And I give a lot of props to Peter for being very kind to her and caring in the aftermath. I think I like her. And when she wears glasses, she looks like Demi. Another random thought. Peter keeps kissing girls in front of the other girls. I don't think I like that. Then they get to their special race, obstacle course thing. And everyone is ticked off because Kelly is cheating. And she says to the camera that she now has a target on her back because she cheated. Well, there's no quotations, Kelly. You did cheat. I'd be mad too. But I wouldn't cry about it. Okay, don't cry. It's embarrassing. Kelly, the cheater, gets the rose. I don't have a great feeling about Kelly either. She's also got this weird confidence to her. I think she knows that she has an advantage and she is capitalizing on that, which I would probably do the same thing, I guess. When it comes down to it, it is a competition. It's supposed to be a level playing field. ABC never is. And why did he why did he pick her up and put her on the counter? I couldn't figure that out. I didn't know if it was supposed to be like a sexy move. It was a little weird. Now to the one-on-one, which goes to Madison, which I'm happy about because I liked her from the beginning. She was one of the only people that I was like, okay, she seems normal. Like a nice girl. She witnesses Peter's parents' vow renewals, which was really sweet. And she seemed to fit in with their family like perfectly. She was hugging them. Everyone seemed really comfortable around each other. She just meshed. And when she told him that it felt like it was home, I feel like I could see that. And I felt even better about her after the date. I think she's my top contender. I think I'm going to pick her to win. Mark it down. Oh, shoot, but she got the first date. That's not going to happen. Sarah's going to win. Sarah. Okay? We didn't see hardly anything of her, but I liked her smile. I also really like Madison's smile. It's very infectious. Still want to fix her part, though. But I really like her. Okay. Yeah, plus meeting the family before you're scheduled to meet the family is always a curse. There's no way she's going to win. It's two curses. But do they cancel each other out? I don't know. There were a couple other things I wanted to address before we get to the second group date, but I'm just going to forget it because we need to get to the important things. So this is the Hannah group date, and I'm calling it that because we didn't see anything but Hannah. First of all, I highly doubt it was Peter's idea to have Hannah come and decide what they were going to do for the date. He says that he has a good friend here who's picking out what they're going to do. A good friend. And later on, they're having a conversation, and Hannah says that they haven't reached out to each other since the show ended. That's your good friend? No, this is the Bachelor setting you up, Peter. This is that sneaky scheming stuff that they like to do. And I mean, if it didn't before, it has officially crossed the border of helping people find love to finding entertainment at others' expense. That's what we're looking at these days, my friends. Even the leading person they want to make things terrible for. Even when Hannah was over there upset, the producer is like, oh no, how are you feeling? No, we know exactly what's going through your mind. You don't care about Hannah right now. You're like, oh my gosh, this is a producer's dream. Somebody getting this on film? I'm getting a little passionate. And I want to apologize. Then Hannah tells her windmill story. Of course she does. It was highly inappropriate. I mean, everybody already knows the story. But I felt like she felt the need to project it so that she could have like a one-up on all the other girls. Like, you will never reach this status. This was me. I will always have this advantage over you. And then it eventually, of course, turns into her going backstage and being distraught. I liked Hannah. I did, and I still do. But We've seen a lot of her, okay? And she claims her heart is confused. Yet, she picks Jed. That clearly doesn't work out. So she goes to Tyler. That doesn't work out. And now here she is for Peter. I don't call that confused. I call that going down the line and throwing each one at the wall until one of them sticks. I just feel so bad for him because anybody with a broken heart or who's had their heart broken, especially when it was 4 months ago, you can't just like run into them and expect it to be all cool. And I bet she knows that's not a good idea either. But it does seem like in their conversation, they're talking about things that needed to be said. So hopefully, if anything, Peter gets a little bit of closure from this, and Hannah too. But I hope that she does the right thing because she's already royally effed up his mind. I mean, maybe Peter has Hannah come join the house and he can have her be a part and then really figure out if she's the right person for him. But no, that's unfair for 2 reasons. It's unfair for lots of reasons, but here are 2. Number 1, how do you trust her heart? Really? She's gone through 3 different guys trying to figure out which one is right for her. Deep down, I think she's a little bit jealous. She lets Peter go, and America has no problem just throwing all the accolades at him and drooling over him and saying how absolutely wonderful he is. And she's probably like, wow, what did I do? And 2, she would have a very clear advantage. I mean, all she would have to, he loved her, possibly still does, which means all she would have to do is like walk by him and he would just be naturally drawn to her. It's clear that he still has feelings for her, and residual feelings can be very blinding. I just hope that he realizes that he can find someone really great for him and that he doesn't need Hannah there to figure that out. But that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to cover for this week. It was really long. 3 hours. If you're going to make the show 3 hours long, can we like start it an hour earlier instead of keeping me up until the little infant hours of the night? Thank you. Next week, I think my prediction is going to be that we don't see Hannah join the house, that they both come to their senses, and we move on. Hopefully, it's still an exciting season. Thanks for watching. Glad to be back. And I'll see you guys next week.